Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Big Talk Pigskin. I am your host, Bowden, and I'm joined by my great co-host, Korbin.
How we
Korbin,
doing?
how's things going?
Going good, man. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy late
Christmas. Yes, Merry Christmas, everybody. Kind of missed out on the episode here, but we had some big things brewing. A lot of stuff actually went on today as we're recording it, which is Friday. You guys are seeing this Saturday morning. Like one bowl game's already done. One's in progress right now as we speak. That Northwestern Central Michigan game, we're not going to go over it today. We're going to recap that on Monday's episode, but that game ended 34-7 Northwestern. And then Minnesota right now, as we're speaking right now currently, it is 7-6 Minnesota with 2 minutes left in the first half.
6-7, let's go.
6-7. But big thing that happened today, Michigan hires Kyle Whittingham, long-term Utah coach, bringing in. I'm a fan of this. I like Kyle Whittingham a lot. I think this is a great hire, especially how late of a hire you had to make here. I don't think there's anybody better currently that you could bring in that isn't already signed with somebody or has an extension. But personally, I love it. We can get into some of his kind of stats and everything, but I want to hear your first opinions, Korbin, as a Michigan.
I think I broke the news to you today in the office, right? Yeah. And so it was one of those things. Funny enough, I had his we had a super slow day in the office, being the 26th, falling on a Friday. Didn't shake out great for me, I guess. I apologize, Bowden. But I had some downtime today, and one of the first things I did when I popped in the office, I kind of sat there and I was like, man, this Michigan coach. I saw some Michigan insiders and some loyalists that I sort of follow. They were saying that there will be a coaching announcement, there will be an announcement before the bowl game, right? And so that's coming up here. That's this weekend, correct? This Saturday.
It's Wednesday.
Or,
Michigan's bowl game Wednesday.
My bad. I was again, New Year's falling on weird time or whatever, or weird point in the week. But I don't know. I'm still kind of, I think, trying to unravel against like how I sort of feel about this. I think it's a good hire for where we were at in the cycle. Like what you said, I think I would have really loved Kenny Dillingham, right? That's Arizona State's. I really would have liked him. And truth be told, I think that's who we went after first. I really do.
His team said, or he himself had said, they never reached out.
Really?
He said that in an interview. Now, does that mean that maybe his agents were like, no, we're not going to do that? Maybe that's a possibility, but
and preemptively
from Kenny, it never happened. He never got reached out to by Michigan. So that's, I think, a big miss on Michigan in my eyes. But
what I did see is they reached out to some NFL coaches. I don't think that was going to be a great move by any stretch of the imagination. This is the first time in like really a decade that we've seen any sort of real coaching shakeup like at Michigan. Obviously, I mean, the stuff that's going on now, it's unfortunate. They've kind of been in scandal the past couple of years here from the Connor Stallion stuff, and then now like kind of bleeding into this. And that's why there's a full-blown investigation going on there. And maybe rightfully so, right? You know, too many things coming out of there. You know, you got to sort of start poking around and seeing what's going on. And that's coming from a Michigan fan, right? Born and raised, grew up here in Columbus, so I'm a little backwards there. But besides the point, I think for where we're at in the season, it's okay. What really jumps out to me and really kind of threw me for, I don't want to say some hesitancy, but sort of some hesitancy, like when it came to being like super overly excited. I mean, this is arguably the best coach in Utah history, right?
Yep.
You know,
I don't even know if I'd say arguably.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe the best, right? And great pedigree. He's been there since '94, and so that's one of the only things that really scares me. He's been there for a long time, and it kind of shows that. I mean, it doesn't show. I mean, he's 66.
Yeah,
older, right? And so it's hard for me to get overly excited about this in the sense of what we heard and what we sort of talked about even during this coaching search was Utah is going to go in a different direction. This guy's a Hall of Fame. He's going to be in the College Football Hall of Fame. Like I like that's going to happen. And that's obviously pre any of the Michigan stuff. But I think he was kind of getting pushed out by his own organization. I think it was sort of like an agreed part ways. It wasn't like we didn't run into Utah in the middle of the night and snatch their coach up. You know what I mean? This was I think this was more on mutual ground of, hey, it was time to part ways. And so that kind of makes me hesitant. Also from his camp, I've heard, or just from some Utah like fans, I kind of was looking around basically the second I heard the announcement. The NIL era has not been kind to him by any stretch of the imagination. And you can kind of see that with even looking at their schedule this year, they get their teeth kicked in by BYU. BYU has some of the biggest backers in the NCAA. And I think as we see this era go on, we're going to see more and more great teams come out of BYU. But, they also get their teeth kicked in by Texas Tech. That's another team that, and even for an underwhelming season by Utah standards, they're still a 10-win team.
Yeah.
And so you know what I mean? And so it'll be interesting to see. And I don't know. I mean, what were some of your thoughts on the situation?
Yeah. So I want to point out, go to their new coach, Morgan Scally. So I know, he played at Utah, was a defensive back there from 2001 to 2004, started coaching at Utah in 2007 as a grad assistant and has never left the staff since. So he's been there since 2007. So 18 years as of now. 19 years will be next season, his first year as their head coach. And I know that when he moved up to the defensive coordinator in 2016, which 2016 didn't presently, I guess, kind of presently, he's been the defensive coordinator. And, they had basically hired him when he moved up, and the past couple of years have been like, you're our next head coach. Mm-hmm. And when it's time, it's time. And I guess that's just Utah has decided now was time. They went to Whittingham and they told him, hey, we want to move on. Like, we love you. You've done great things for our program. Like, obviously he's the best coach ever. And it's like, we want to end on a high note with you. And we don't want this guy to get poached, because he probably would have. Honestly.
Yeah.
We're getting to a point where, if you decide to keep Whittingham around until he was ready to retire himself, which maybe is in 10 more years, maybe it's in 3.
Could be.
It's a 5-year contract with Michigan. So, he's got at least 5 years in his mind left in the tank. So I think they went, we don't want to miss out on this guy, and you dip out on us in 2 years and retire. And then we're kind of sitting here and we screwed the pooch on not making the move. Right. So I think that's kind of why the move had happened. This is a guy who he developed Cam Rising. He did. Cam Rising was great in college up until he started getting a bunch of injuries. He took over for Urban Meyer when Urban left.
Yeah.
So he was the defensive coordinator while Urban Meyer was there at Utah.
Right.
And what did Urban Meyer go on to do after leaving Utah? I mean, obviously completely different situations, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, he goes to Florida, wins 2 national championships. Maybe that's what Kyle does, leaving Utah, going to Michigan.
Yeah,
the last coach to leave Utah went and won 2 national championships at his next school.
True. I mean, I think a lot of like what I'm hearing, initial reaction is, this isn't a Michigan man.
No,
and he's not.
But with everything,
yeah,
with everything that's been going on,
yeah,
I'm saying with all the past couple of years of scandals, I wouldn't want someone who's connected with the program in the past.
No,
5 to 10 years. I wouldn't want anybody connected with the program.
A fresh start is good. This is the first time. No, I was going to say this isn't the first time that we are. Excuse me. This is the first time in 10 years, like I said previously, like that we are having a new hire that isn't under the Harbaugh tree, and so this is going to be interesting. And I think that phrase is just thrown around because that's all that like I've really heard from my fandom is, oh, we want a Michigan man, and so it was interesting in seeing that this is not right. And the age, to your point, you kind of mentioned it, is Utah doesn't want to kind of get caught with with nothing to do and say, hey, my coach retired after 2 years. Well, that's the way I'm kind of looking at this. I feel like this was the best sort of candidate to kind of fall into our lap. I don't think our A tier was available, and I don't think our B tier necessarily was either. But I think this was probably a coach that the higher ups at Michigan got together and they said, hey, worst comes to worst, we have this guy. He's a proven winner. I think he's on his way out at Utah anyways. Let's see what we can do, sort of thing. And it is exciting as a Michigan fan. I'm not going to sit here and play the pessimist all night. To be somewhat of an optimist, I feel like he played above his sort of skill, even with the resources that he had. So at Utah this year, you're sitting there, hey, that's a 10-win team still. With the resources and in your backyard at BYU, they're recruiting better than you. They're bringing in better players than you, and they've got deeper pockets than you at Utah, I'm saying. And so he's going to get to come to a program where your pockets are deeper than maybe anyone in the nation, right? And so
there's probably only 2 other schools in the nation who have deeper pockets, and that would be Ohio State and Oregon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And Oregon only does because Phil Knight said, "I'll give you anything you want."
Yeah, Nike. But so it's going to be very interesting to see how it all kind of plays out, because there's a scenario here, like to your point. I mean, I think really the only thing that he's kind of hunting for now is you're ring chasing. Yeah, go get a ring. And so it kind of works out for both these teams great. Now, more importantly, I think it is less important about who is at the helm for Michigan right now. I really don't. Like, this is a great hire in my eyes for that. Like, we have a leader. We have a proven winner at the helm right now. And
just want to mention 177 and 88 as a head coach.
Very impressive. Like,
that's really good.
Now, the more impressive stat for me for him, like as a coach, is I'm trying to remember exactly what the stat is. I think in Michigan's history, we've had 3 passers over 3,000 yards. Kyle Whittingham has had 3 in the last 7 seasons. And so that is exciting. And so you're bringing that new element now. Another part of that is, who is he going to bring with him from Utah? Because Michigan's got a wide open offensive coordinator position. If we can grab their offensive coordinator, who the year before, I think he was at New Mexico, he's completely reshaped their offense, like in Utah sense. And again, I know Michigan's more of a run-heavy team, so this is going to be sort of a clash of the Titans, and people are going to love to bring up, well, Rich Rodriguez came in and said, we're going to spread. We're going all spread. This is air raid, and it didn't shake out great by any stretch of the imagination. So I don't think it's going to be that crazy. I think he's going to have the proper people around him, hopefully, to make those better decisions. But I think it is going to shake things up. But the most important thing in my eyes here is, how many players do you retain, and how many can you compensate for the loss of through the means of the transfer portal, or maybe some guys that you're bringing over from Utah. I don't know that there's going to be a lot of those that are as caliber of, hey, you're going to go play at Michigan, you're going to start day one. Like, I'm not sure there's going to be many of those, but there is going to be a mass exodus. I do feel like, from this Michigan roster, because there are going to be players that are unsatisfied and players that didn't agree to play for, this coach. And so it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting to see how it all shakes out, even coming up to the bowl game, which I guess he's going to be at, because they're trying to get him there. Yeah, he's going to be.
But he's not
coaching. Yeah, he's not coaching, but
he'll be at it, not coaching. Yeah. And there's obviously, anytime a coach leaves, there's a mass exodus. I mean, even before the transfer portal, you were allowed to leave. If your coach left, you were kind of granted some kind of transfer waivers and stuff back then. Right. So it happened a lot then too. So this isn't a unusual thing. Yeah, I mean, you're going to lose guys. I think Bryce stays. And I think that's good. I don't know. I
hope. Sure. I don't know that I hope, actually.
But we'll see what happens. I think it's a great hire, especially like we've echoed, especially where you're at in the cycle here. Obviously, there would have been guys you would have rather gotten had this whole thing kind of played out earlier, maybe a couple weeks ago. We'd have a different coach in here than Kyle Whittingham.
I think it's
this
just
is where we're at now.
Right. I don't think if you looked at anyone, and this is before all of the scandal that Sherrone Moore kind of brought to himself, I don't think you look at any, like, I don't want to say sane, but like any standard Michigan fan, you're like, hey, is this going to be the coach in the next 5 years? I don't think you're confidently sitting there saying, oh yeah, like, this is our guy. Sure, he's got wins against Ohio State, but I think this situation feels very similar, right? Yeah. I think Kyle Whittingham, I think he's more than proven himself in Utah, and I think he's done some fantastic things. That's awesome for that program. Like what you said, taking it from where it was to, he's been through ups and been through downs. It's very impressive. However, I do feel like this is a bridge situation as well. I don't think he like what you said, a 5-year contract. I do not think he sees the entirety of that. And I would be impressed if he does. But what does suck for him is I think he has to hit the ground running ASAP. This isn't a situation where it's like, hey, we've got 2 years, get your system implemented. It's like, no, man. Like it's go time. And I'll just be interested to see if we're able to sort of deal with the seismic wave in the aftermath of sort of what this brings to the program. So it'll be interesting.
100%. And there's probably a lot more we could say about it, but we've taken so much time already talking about this. We'll start moving on to our bowl games for this upcoming week. So like we said on Monday's episode, we're not going to be recapping these games yet. We already, that'll happen on Monday. We're actually going to recap those Monday, talk about the playoff games on Monday as well. Today, we're going to be going over the bowl games that are coming up next week. So on Tuesday the 30th and Wednesday the 31st. Our first one up on that is going to be Tennessee versus Illinois in the Music City Bowl, Nashville, Tennessee. 2 teams that ranked early on in the season, start off the year. People thought they were going to be a lot better than they were, both ending at 8-4. You kind of expected 10-win seasons out of both these guys. Kind of a disappointing year, not as disappointing as that Pinstripe Bowl. But yeah, who do you like in this, and what kind of things are you liking in this game?
I was such a big fan of Illinois at the beginning of this season. Like I loved everything that was going on with that program. Like even I think they played Michigan earlier on in the season. I think that wasn't necessarily the straw that broke the camel's back. They did get they got a win against USC this year, and so that was I was like really rooting, really pulling for Illinois, and I think it was an underwhelming season. Definitely like what you said, not the degree to the Pinstripe Bowl, but this was still this is a underwhelming year from Illinois. If I'm not mistaken, was it a 10-win season last year for them? Like that?
Yeah, like very confident that was 10 wins last year, right outside the playoffs. They were like 15th or 16th last year, and so everybody kind of expected the same thing, if not a little bit better.
Yeah, and it was not that. And what was strange is they've retained a lot of their roster too, and so I think just a couple games didn't fall the way they did. But I really like Tennessee in this game. I do. Tennessee is running through the gauntlet that is the SEC. I don't know that Illinois got a good matchup here. I don't think these teams match up very well together. We'll see though. My gut right now is saying Tennessee in this one.
Yeah, my gut also leans towards Tennessee. I think they're a better team. Straight up. I hope Illinois wins. I want the Big Ten to go
absolutely.
Perfect. I want the Big Ten to go perfect if they can, other than, maybe some playoff games where hopefully they meet up against each other. But this Tennessee team is really good.
Yeah,
they are. And, Nico left this team, but I think Joey Aguilar has been a better quarterback than Nico was there. I think it's mostly their skill positions guys that kind of carry this team forward. Illinois, on the other hand, not a whole lot changed from last year to this year, and they regressed. I don't know if they had a lot of injury problems. I don't follow Illinois super closely, so I can't say for certain they lost certain guys that they really needed on the team that they had last year. But I just think Tennessee has a strong defense that's stronger than Illinois' defense. And they both have some pretty good offenses.
I like Tennessee's quarterback too. Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah, I like him. I was gonna say I think it was interesting to see how the first trade in college football sort of played out. Right?
Yeah.
UCLA did not win that trade by any stretch of the imagination. So, yeah, I mean, I like Tennessee in this game.
I like Tennessee in this game as well. I think they'll probably win by about a touchdown or so, somewhere right around there. Not a whole lot to say, not a huge matchup. But next up, Alamo Bowl, USC. They take on TCU. Almost a home game for TCU. I'm not exactly sure how close Fort Worth is San Antonio. Is that where the Alamo is?
Yeah. Yes.
I was going to say, I believe so. Yes, San Antonio. Yeah. It's kind of a home game for TCU, but they weren't great this year. I know they're 8-4. I know that they are. I know they had some good wins. But I really don't think they're very good. Their losses at TCU consist of Arizona State, solid squad this year by 3 points. They lost 28-41 to Kansas State, okay team. Better than Arizona State this year, maybe. I don't even know how confident I feel saying that. They lost to Iowa State, who fell apart.
It was a solid team to
start.
Get out of the gates. Yeah, get out of the gates. They
played them in November. Not a good team by November.
No, not.
And they also got killed by BYU, but BYU is really good, as we've said.
Good ball team this year, yeah.
So, and then USC, I'm just dominant offense. They have huge plays all the time, and that's kind of for the most part all they do on offensive side is break off huge plays. They're not a huge consistent. They're not a consistent drive team, but their big plays make up for it. And I think their offense is just going to be a little bit too fast-paced for TCU's defense, and I really like USC's D-line.
I like USC a lot in this game as well. I think same thing. I think TCU. I think there were a lot higher hopes for them this season. I think I heard a lot of people saying that they could make a run at the Big 12 again this year. It seemed like it was kind of wide open before the bullies emerged. That is Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
But. No, yeah, I really like USC in this game. I like everything they got going for them. Yeah,
I love it. Jaden Mavia, dog. That D line. I'm trying to think. I think that D lineman's name right in the middle. I think number 0. His last name is Carter. I believe. Not 100% certain, but big guy on the D line, number 0. Absolute demon. He is a dog. I don't know what year he is. I don't know enough about the guy. But I really like the guy. I need to do a little bit more research on him specifically. Because, man, that guy can ball. He plays defense. He's fast to the ball. He's big. But, man, can he hit and just run around on that field.
Number 0. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm pulling him up here.
Awesome. And this, again, Lincoln Riley, Sonny Dykes, head-to-head again. Back when they were both in the Big 12, when Lincoln was at Oklahoma and they were still a Big 12 school. They matched up sometimes back in the day. So it's kind of a good reunion to see them play each other. And I just don't know if TCU really stands much of a chance.
Interesting here. Number 0 is Jamal Jarrett, defensive tackle, a redshirt sophomore on the defensive line wearing number 0. Also sharing that number at USC is Zacharias Williams. Wide receiver,
yeah.
Who's also a dog. So
yes,
2 dogs at USC wearing number 0.
Yeah, absolute dogs. I'm ready to watch this game. I think it's gonna be high scoring.
Yeah,
high scoring, fast tempo, especially on USC side. TCU, they got to get out the gates and strike fast, and play impeccable defense.
This season they have had to command the games they're winning, and when they play, they don't play very well from behind. And so, like what you said, they got to get out strong. Have to. Now, I think that they match up well against this TCU team. Big 12 teams, historically not great defense. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, well, we'll see. It's defense have gotten a little bit better in that conference, but
definitely in the modern age. But this isn't your grandpa's. This isn't your grandpa's Big 12 anymore, right?
No, it's not. It's not. Over to our next one here. We're going to go with Nebraska, Utah. We already kind of spoke about Utah a little bit.
Right.
Obviously, Kyle Whittingham is not going to be the coach for this game, so they're without their coach, but they're with their new head coach since he's been a coordinator there. Of course, he's still going to be coaching, but now in his first appearance as a head coach, I would assume, unless they're counting an interim for this. I don't know.
Yeah. Probably
how that kind of looks, but
yeah, I'm not sure the legal jargon there, but I do know that I like Utah a lot.
I love Utah in this game. I
hate
Nebraska. So.
I think there is trouble in the tornado land that is Nebraska. I do think the Huskers are having, Dylan Raiola hitting.
He's hurt.
Well, no, he's in the portal.
Supposedly. He's never made an announcement yet that he's entering. Everybody else is saying he's entering.
I don't think
the portal's
that's
not
accurate.
open yet anyway, so he can't enter yet. I don't believe he's put an official word in that he was planning on leaving. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But he's also injured. He wasn't going to play anyway, no matter what. And once he got hurt, their season was over.
Yeah, he did announce that he is he will enter the NCAA transfer portal ahead of the 2026 season. Yes.
Yeah. Which, I mean, again, everybody was kind of pointing at that was going to happen, but
that I don't know. That
he was hurt anyway.
That was kind of a shock to me. Anyway. And the reason that was a shock to me was I feel like Matt.
Well,
no, excuse me. Their coach. What's his name? Sorry,
Matt Rule.
Matt Rule. I think I heard his name pretty often for the Penn State search early on, and then he got that extension, and it was like, oh shoot, this guy they're building something over here in Nebraska, and he really hasn't proved himself yet. But I do think that they're kind of buying the Baylor hype sort of thing, where before he was at Carolina Panthers, 2 years, and then flipped up, and then now they sort of took off, sort of thing. But
I'll say about Dylan Raiola, though. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
So his dad has been on the staff, right? His dad played at Nebraska. You know, he was a legend there. His dad was currently on the staff right around the Iowa. I think right after the Iowa games, right at the end of the season, fired his dad. A week later, Dylan Raiola is being seen at airports flying and going to like cities that have other college schools. And then like a week after that is when everybody is saying, like before he had said, oh, he's going to enter the portal. People were saying so. They fired his dad. Now he's gone.
Yeah, which I mean, that kind of checks. If you got to think he's probably living at home, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. You're living at home there with your family. That's your dad's job. His dad is now on the move, right? I mean, yeah. I'm not sure what his position was there, but
I think D-line coach.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's either D-line or O-line. I know his dad was a lineman, maybe a linebacker. I know he wasn't a skilled guy. I believe he played on their O-line with Scott Frost as quarterback back in the day. So back in those days. But this also isn't out of character for Dylan Raiola, and maybe if we're getting a little off topic, just talking about him specifically, but it's not out of character for him. He played at 4 different high schools in high school.
True.
Transferred every single year. He's played here for 2 seasons and is now going, well, it's not working out. We're not winning more than 8 games, so I'm just going to leave.
I don't know how sought after he is. Yeah, I don't know how sought after he is.
I keep hearing Oregon. I hear that Dante Moore's going to go to the draft after playing
he is. And I think
that they're going to bring him into Oregon.
Dante Moore could be the first draft pick.
He could. I'd take Fernando Mendoza instead.
I would agree, but
I don't think Dante's done enough.
I don't know a better quarterback in the portal right now.
I don't either. Not yet.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I guess there probably is.
Hasn't opened. Yeah, there probably is. Well, I mean, I look at Drew Mestamaker out of North Texas, and I say he's better. I'd rather have him. Bo Prabula. Yeah. Like there are other guys in there that I would rather have personally, and maybe I'm just a Nebraska hater. I am straight up, but
that's not.
That's
not good for our Big Ten antics.
I don't care. I don't like them. I honestly don't want them to beat Utah. This is the only Big Ten team I want to see lose in a bowl game.
All right.
Is Nebraska. It's the only one I want to see them lose, and I think they're going to get creamed.
I think that Utah is going to win because I think it's they're a much more commanding team. I think that they've got what's the line on this game right now?
Utah is favored by 14.5 points.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about accurate. I'm thinking this is going to be a good old fashioned butt kicking. Like, yes. I think that about checks. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like them. Everybody knows that by now. I don't like Nebraska. I'm an Iowa fan. It's the team I respect the least out of every college football team in the country.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
That's a statement.
We have 4 main rivals: Wisconsin, Iowa State, Minnesota, Nebraska. I respect Iowa State. I respect Wisconsin. I semi-respect Minnesota. I don't like PJ Fleck. Not a huge fan of the guy. Really not a big fan of the guy.
You got it done, though.
Sure.
Did they not win the other night?
They're playing right now.
Oh, excuse me. I was thinking. I was
playing right now.
I was thinking Northwestern.
Yes. They're playing right now.
They are still up.
Still up 7-6, by the way. Yes, at halftime. I'm not a huge fan of the guy, but I don't necessarily. But I don't really like Minnesota. And then I hate Nebraska. Everything about them. I like genuinely. I respect Iowa State and Wisconsin. And maybe the Iowa State thing's just because it's in state and it's kind of like, oh, little brother, still got to love them, even though you beat them. And they've beaten us the past couple of years. But in Wisconsin growing up, I saw Iowa lose to Wisconsin more times than we won as a child. Now that Wisconsin's not as good anymore, Iowa's kind of beaten up on them these years. But I respect the teams that actually beat us and prove that they're worth something. The past 10 years, Nebraska's beat us once in the past 10 years. They don't deserve my respect. Minnesota once in the past 10 years, and it was on the fair catch.
Oh yeah,
can't go back and take it back. Obviously, they still won that game. It happens. They won the game. Whatever. We move on. But I don't respect either of them because of those. Like,
that's fair.
You don't have a good record. You're not better than us. You talk all this crap, especially Nebraska, and they just don't beat us.
And now they're without quarterback.
Yeah, and I don't see them getting anywhere near beating Utah. And I feel like I've been wrong in a lot of bowl games this season, but this is one I feel very, very confident about.
We will see. Now, up next we have
Iowa Vandy, my boys.
Your boys.
My boys. Horrified. Absolutely petrified of this game.
I think you should be. Unfortunately, I think you should be.
I should. This is a really good team.
I think Pavia is going to come out, and I think he's playing with some fire in his belly, missing the Heisman. I mean, I don't know. I think this was a bad pool for Iowa. I'm not going to lie.
You know what? The thing was it was either, hey, Iowa, you're going to play Tennessee in the Music City Bowl, or we were going to play what was it? It was somebody else who we had played recently.
Probably Texas. It probably would have been Texas.
There was 3 schools I guess there was 4 schools I kind of saw rumored. It wasn't Texas, but the 2 schools were 2 teams that Iowa had kind of played recently in the past couple of years in bowl games, especially like Tennessee. We've played a bunch. I don't want to play Tennessee. I don't want to play Texas. I would be even more horrified playing Texas, honestly. I wanted to play Vandy or Utah. Those were the 2 that were getting rumored. It's like, I want to see us play someone else. That's all I want. And as an unbiased, I'm going to take the hat off here. As an unbiased guy here right now, I think Vanderbilt wins this game. They're set as a 4.5-point favorite. I think they win. I think they're a better team than Iowa. I have a better defense. They have a better offense. Well, not a better defense, actually. That's wrong. They have a better offense, not a better defense, but I think they'll be able to score more than Iowa can. I think it's going to be low scoring, honestly, because despite the fact that they're kind of a high power offense, we have a very good defense.
Right.
Sometimes our secondary makes some mistakes here and there. And then our offense, it's good. A lot better than it's been in the past, but it's not going to be good enough to beat this Vanderbilt team. Now, give me just 2 seconds here. I'm going to go my unbiased opinion. Or my biased opinion. My biased opinion is Iowa's going to win this game 21-17, and just Vanderbilt stands no chance. We're putting Pavia in the dirt. He's shaken up. He's so upset. He's going to throw picks left and right because of how upset he is. And he's going to only be thinking about the Heisman on his mind, not winning this game. And we're going to put him in the dirt a bunch. I can't wait to see him on the ground sacked a million times. I can't wait. It's going to happen. Love it.
I appreciate both perspectives. I appreciate both perspectives there. In my opinion, I think that this is a sneaky better matchup than I think what I think your unbiased self is saying. I think Iowa does a really good job of retaining players and saying, hey, this is Iowa culture. We're playing in these bowl games, right? I think very rarely am I seeing guys opt out of bowl games. Like,
I don't think there's any opt outs on our end,
right?
Unless they're hurt. There's 4 players hurt.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is it's sort of the culture and the tone that sort of Iowa sets, and I respect that. And so it'll be interesting to see how many players at Vandy are saying, we're sitting out, like we're done.
So far, I see 4.
Okay,
and one's a backup quarterback.
Okay,
Third string quarterback, actually. One's been out for the season. 2 of them haven't played for a couple months. Everything on Iowa end's injured, hasn't played for a couple weeks. And then the other guys for Vandy are injured, one in the transfer portal, but again, it's a third string quarterback.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you there. But
no, you're good. I appreciate that. So that's exciting. I was going to say people are playing these bowl games. Like I know the next bowl we're going to get to cover Michigan versus Texas. It's not the same. Not the same tune, and so that kind of sucks. But yeah, I think this is going to be a somewhat of, I'd say, a clash of the Titans. But like I said, I feel like Iowa doesn't match up against Vandy as well as maybe they would have in some of those other draws. It'll be interesting to see though how it all shakes out. So I mean, who's to say? Maybe Iowa pulls one off here, like you're saying. But in my heart of hearts, I think Vandy stays true and gets it done.
I agree. I think Vandy wins a close game. I don't think it's a blowout either way. Like my unbiased self thinks that Vandy is going to win probably like 28-14, which is, I mean, that's still 14 points. And then my biased self thinks Iowa gets it done by like 5. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm really excited, obviously, to watch this game. I know we'll personally be at work during this game, so it'll definitely be on the TV.
That'll be good.
We're posted up right there by one.
Always.
So it's perfect. Get to watch it. Yes, it'll be a great game. And then,
Up next,
yep. Your boys,
Michigan versus Tennessee. Yeah, it's going to – this game I'm not super excited about. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, kind of same feelings for Vandy. I think – it's been cool. It's been cool the last two bowl games there, or excuse me, I guess the last 3 I've got to experience. It's Michigan beating Alabama in the Rose Bowl, putting us in the national championship, winning the national championship, and then coming back and beating Alabama in the
whatever bowl last
whatever
year.
Bowl it was. Yeah, whatever bowl it was.
Might have been the Citrus Bowl again.
Yeah, could have been. Honestly, but
I don't know.
I don't think we're going to be as lucky to beat Texas here. I think Arch Manning announcing that he's coming back. This is going to be these teams didn't play that long ago, almost a season exactly. Like I think we played the second game,
beginning of the 2024 season.
Yeah, and it was a routing, and I think there is a very good chance that we will sort of be playing a similar tune at the end of this one. Biff Poggi is stepping in as the interim coach.
Yes.
So what does that change? And like what we said, do you happen to know who's sitting out on that game for?
Yeah. So I see actually there's nobody here that says opt out based on anything but an injury for Michigan on the Michigan side. Now, they're like Jordan Marshall's listed as injured.
Oh, okay.
He played limited snaps in the regular season finale. Maybe he's back. I don't know. Most of these guys haven't played for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So that there's that end. And then on the Texas side, you got, Trey Windsor, one of their running backs who's hitting the transfer portal. He had almost 600 rushing yards this year on 4 touchdowns. Another running back, CJ Baxter for them, 196 rushing yards this year. He's also out. And then even another running back as well. But he left the team mid-season.
Okay.
They have a receiver who had 530 yards, 4 touchdowns, transfer portal.
So maybe
5 game starting lineman. So they have a fair amount of guys. There's a linebacker in here, a guy who's going to go to the draft, and then a safety going to the draft, and then another safety who's hitting the transfer portal. So
and you're saying there's not a single Michigan player that's like declared and
from the listing I'm seeing here, on this site, that is what I've seen.
Okay.
So it could be different. The bowl game's not here yet. Maybe there's guys who are opting out closer, but as of right now, this is what we see, and there's not too many opt outs in this.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be good. I was gonna say it'll be good
on the
that these teams will, they'll sort of get a sort of a fresh game against each other, a lot of rest, and I mean obviously Michigan sort of in turmoil, but We'll see.
And without their 2 starting running backs.
If I was a betting man, I would definitely take Texas here, and I think the spread right now is like 7. Is that accurate still?
8.5 Texas.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's still sliding towards Texas, and I'm sure that'll only continue to slide. So that'll be a game to watch for sure. But
100%. I think I lean towards Texas too, just kind of with all the turmoil and everything. And Arch Manning kind of finally started hitting his stride.
Yeah, he did.
The season. He's looked a lot better. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a blowout, or I think this is going to be a closer game than maybe what some people think. I think there's a lot of people out there who don't care about the rankings and think that Texas is going to walk all over them. I don't think that happens. I think maybe a 10-point game here.
I think Texas could walk on Michigan. I'm not.
I think they could. I don't know if they will.
Yeah.
But I like Michigan. I like the Wolverines. I'd love to see them win. I want to see, every Big Ten team win their bowl game except Nebraska. So obviously I'm cheering for Michigan in this game, but realistically, I think Texas has a little bit of an edge here. I don't want them to, but it's a solid team. Now, kind of looking at those opt-outs that they have, I mean, you got 3 running backs sitting out, and I believe the top one is probably their starter. He had 412 snaps this year.
Okay.
He's in the portal. He's opting out. So, you have that, and then you have a receiver who played 416 snaps with 500 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns. It's like, who are we going to now?
Right.
Next up guys? Sure, but how much have they played?
True.
How much have they done for this team?
You have to imagine Texas is deep, and I think they're
100%.
much deeper in Michigan in the skill position department. So that'll be interesting to watch as well. But
I unfortunately have to agree with that. So, but it'll be a gret game.
Yeah.
Either way, I think
it'll
be interesting to watch. That's 3:00 right after the Iowa game on the 31st on New Year's Eve. So again, another great lineup for New Year's Eve. Big Ten, by the way. Those 3 games that we just talked about: Nebraska, Utah, Iowa, Vandy, Michigan, Texas, and then what we'll talk about Monday, Miami, Ohio State plays that night in the Big Ten as well. And then our other playoff matches start up on Thursday the 1st, with Oregon versus Texas Tech, Alabama versus Indiana, and we'll talk about those ones on Monday.
Absolutely.
Talk about those Monday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry we're a little late, but hey, worked out. Michigan hired Kyle Whittingham, so I had some extra stuff to talk about today.
Absolutely.
Hope you guys have a great Saturday. Watch some great football, and catch us back here on Monday.
See you Monday.
See you guys.